So, this is more of a testimony, I guess, of my experience growing up in America. So, let me just start with a little bit of background in case you don't know my background. So, I'm 28 years old. I was born in Jakarta, Indonesia. Lived there for about 4.5 years before coming here to the U.S. And we lived in Fairfax County, Virginia, from when I was in elementary school all the way up till I was, since I graduated high school. So from kindergarten all the way up to senior year of high school here in the U.S. I graduated high school with a pretty good GPA, stayed out of trouble for the most part. I was pushed into sports by my mom. And rowed. I did rowing in high school. I went to college with very little argument. I knew I had to go. Studied economics. I have a job, support myself now, so I seem pretty normal, right? But growing up, I felt different, so different for many reasons. So when I look back and reflect now, I feel as if there were a lot of challenges that we faced as first generation Asian or Indonesian living in America. Being different when you grow up can be really difficult, and it can be a difficult thing for a child to handle. So I remember when I was little, I asked, why do I have to drink warm water when I'm sick? I don't understand. What is masuk angin? Kok sedikit-sedikit masuk angin? I don't understand. I mean, can wind really get inside my belly and go why is mom rubbing dad's back with a quarter and their muscle on it? It's so painful. So growing up as a child, I was always different than the other kids. I had dark hair. All my friends were, light hair. I had black eyes. I ate lots of rice. I enjoyed eating rice with tiny little fried fish. There you go. Which all my friends thought was just gross looking. My food was stinky to them, and I always thought, I was always jealous of the kids with sandwiches at school, and those that had normal dinners, pastas and stuff like that. We have rice all the time. So it's as if I grew up in two different worlds. There was my Bulat friends at school that I hung out with during the weekdays, and then there was my Indonesian friends at church, who I grew up with during the weekends. So I spent a lot of the weekends going to acara-acara Indo with my parents, where I would play with my Indonesian friends. I spent a lot of time trying to be well-behaved, never talked back to my parents, I remember getting into a lot of trouble when I had a long face and I would cemberut to my mom or dad. So I always thought to myself, why does Stephanie get away with yelling at her mom? I know, I don't understand. That's so weird. I never thought about doing that to my parents and actually seeing the light of day after. I was so scared. So I think the biggest challenge was facing the cultural difference between being Indonesian and being American. Like, why doesn't Jenny have so much trouble getting permission to go spend the night out with her friends? But my mom insists on getting an emergency contact when I'm going in the same neighborhood at my friend. So Indonesians are protective, I think, because this isn't, the country that you grew up in. So, like reading the news and stuff, it is scary to have your kids grow up in a country that has a lot of drug use or murder and stuff. So I understand, but as a kid, I just wanted freedom. But looking back now, I believe that all of the challenges and experiences in feeling different in America was opportunities for me without knowing that it was opportunities. Because my parents maybe were a little bit more stricter, I guess. I never ended up in trouble, not caught up with drugs, no gangs, no teen pregnancies, that sort of thing. So I understand, and I'm very, very thankful. And And now I definitely have developed a curiosity of different cultures. I have a strong appreciation for people from different backgrounds now that I grew up in a different background in America too. So definitely speaking, reading, and writing Bahasa came in handy sometimes, especially in the mall when you want to say something like, like I don't have to worry about anyone understanding what I'm talking about. So. But my experience as being an Asian American allowed me to understand that diversity is a beautiful thing, that America's melting pot is real. People that I grew up with did come from different backgrounds too, and I grew up with people Indonesian as well, and all that. We all grew up together. We all experienced the same things growing up. So I felt like we were American, yes, but we were also, we were American. We cheered during July 4th. We cried during 9/11. We felt happiness when Obama was elected. And and we take pride when we sing like the Star Spangled Banner and stuff. But what makes our experience unique growing up as Indonesian American is that we understand the meaning of diversity. So we understand that even though we are American, but we're also very much Indonesian. There's values and there's like ideals from the Indonesian culture that I carry with me every day. So this is how we're growing to understand. This is how I believe America is growing to understand diversity. So living side by side with kids growing up from different cultures, sama-sama, we feel like we understand each other better. So there's a sense of, I guess it helps eliminate racism and stuff like that, because I never really experienced it very much. Growing up in this area, very diverse. My friends are Pakistani, Jewish, whatever, Spanish growing up, Egyptian is my best friend. And so we never felt a sense of racism. So it was nice. It's really nice to grow up learning about different cultures. But the biggest thing in my life, which put everything in perspective, was my experience in the Indonesian Christian community. I was taught at an early age about the values of Christian love, patience, and kindness, and this helps to even more shape my experience here, looking different, but then understanding that, I have to love everyone just the same, growing up at church, it helped a lot. So I wanted to mention a verse, Galatians chapter 3, verse 28 says, "Faith in Jesus Christ is what makes each of you equal with each other, whether you're a Jew or Greek, a slave or a free person, a man or a woman." So I think I really lived by that ideal. When I went to college in Canada, it was the same thing. I met people from different cultures and didn't really feel awkward anymore because I grew up here in America in such a diverse environment. I went to Kenya. It was a little less diverse, but for me, it was easy to take what they said in the Bible about loving each other equally and kind of showing the same love to the Kenyan population that I helped to. So I think what keeps me positive and happy throughout my 24 years here in America is that the values of the Christian values that I developed in being part of the EIPC or ICFC, whichever church you were part of, made me comfortable in knowing that God loves all people, all shapes and colors, so that I must do the same as well. And I had a really good experience growing up here. I wouldn't change it for the world, so basically it. Thank you.